If you've been in hibernation throughout the recent crypto bear market, it's time to wake up. Cryptoland is on fire, and Bitcoin has just triggered our exclusive MTG 2020 breakout signal for the first time since the year-long downtrend began. Join us in this video as we explore the power of this buy signal and reveal the growing opportunities for swing trading in the crypto market now. Let's dive in. Our exclusive MTG 2020 buy signal indicates a potential reversal of an intermediate term downtrend. When triggered, it indicates favorable odds of buying pullbacks in Bitcoin and especially top relative strength altcoin breakouts. Here's how it works. First of all, you need to make sure you look at a weekly chart time frame, not the more commonly used daily chart, but zooming out to the longer term weekly chart. So each bar you see here is 1 week of price action. And you need to make sure your chart shows the 20-week moving average. In this case, on our chart, that's the blue line, is the 20-week moving average. And then we have 3 simple rules. Rule number 1 is the price must be below the 20-week moving average for at least the past 20 weeks, basically 5 months. In this case, if we take a look here, before we broke out above the 20-week moving average this month, the price was actually below the 20-week moving average since way back in March of 2022. So basically 10 months. We were trading below the 20-week moving average. Now, what happened here back in March was the price did pop above the 20-week moving average and stayed above it for 2 weeks before it failed. But this was actually a false signal. This was not a valid MTG 2020 buy signal because it lacked higher volume, which I'll talk about in number 3 here, but we didn't have the higher volume signal. So again, number 1, price below the 20-week moving average for at least the past 20 weeks. Number 2, we want to see the price close above the 20-week moving average for 2 straight weeks. So we can see here just this past week, we closed above the 20-week MA for the second week in a row, firmly above it. And number 3, the 2020 buy signal requires higher weekly volume on the breakout. So you can see as soon as we broke out above the 20-week moving average, volume did surge substantially higher. And actually for 2 weeks in a row, we had sharply higher volume. In fact, some of the highest volume we've had historically. So these are the 3 signals that we look for on the weekly chart to determine whether or not a crypto has triggered an MTG 2020 buy signal. So now let's take a look at the shorter term daily chart, and we'll look at support and resistance levels to help you determine where you might want to buy Bitcoin and how that can affect other leading altcoins that are also setting up for awesome swing trading opportunities. While the weekly chart shows the intermediate term price action, the daily chart's great for showing shorter term price action. And if we take a look here, we see that at the start of the month, Bitcoin caught a bid and started rallying on increasing volume. And within a matter of 7 straight days of gains, Bitcoin had reversed all of the losses from the FTX news back in November when Bitcoin plunged 25% over the course of 4 days. We recovered that in a week of increasing volume. So really positive sign there for the market that for several months, that floor of 15,500 held as support, and everybody that wanted out of the market's already gone. So it only took a little bit of buying pressure to flip the short-term trend to bullish. Now, when the market rallies so sharply like that in a short period of time, you typically see a short-term correction that follows. But when I was a new trader, I thought that a correction meant that the price had to pull back. But actually, there's 2 types of corrections you can have. You can have a correction by price and a correction by time. Now, a correction by price is a pullback where the price retraces lower before moving back up again. That's what most people are familiar with. But a correction by time occurs when the price consolidates and trades in a tight sideways range for a period of time. And you can see that's what happened here with Bitcoin. We had a correction by time. After that rally, that strong rally, all that happened, instead of price pulling back, the price traded sideways for a week, and we had a correction by time. And what that does is it enables the moving averages to rise up and provide support in the same way that a pullback down to the moving average would have the same effect, except that a correction by time is actually more bullish than a correction by price because it means that the sellers did not step in even when the buyers took a rest. Instead, the prices went sideways. And then notice here, as soon as Bitcoin came into support of the 10-day moving average, which is this white line, notice how that was the perfect chance for bulls to step back in, and Bitcoin broke out again to a new swing high, broke out above this resistance level back here from early November. So really bullish price action here in the short term of Bitcoin. Again, only seeing a correction by time for a 1 week period after a strong rally. And now again, Bitcoin over the past 5 days has entered into another short-term sideways consolidation action rather than pulling back. Now, of course, we could see a pullback here, and that would actually be a good thing because a pullback would shake out some people that were kind of late to the party and would also give us some low risk entry points. In fact, as I mentioned, the MTG 2020 indicator indicates it's time to buy pullbacks in cryptos that are breaking out with top relative strength. And that's actually what we've been doing in the MTG crypto service. We've been buying leading altcoin breakouts on a pullback and having a lot of success with that since Bitcoin broke out. So let's take a look using Bitcoin as a barometer for the entire market. Let's take a look at where Bitcoin might pull back to, where we might find some short-term support. First of all, we have the 10-period moving average, which is currently just below the 22,000 level. But I would suspect that if we test that level again, we could undercut it very easily and more likely come down to the 21,500 area, which is the prior swing high from November 5th. The prior resistance now has become the new support that we should find support on a slight pullback. So on a short-term pullback, look for the 21,500 area to provide support. And we could undercut all the way down to about the 20,000 level, which is the bottom. 20,400 is the bottom of this 1 week long consolidation. And then we've got the 20-day moving average rising up to provide support. And that's just below the 20,000 mark. So if we're looking at a short-term pullback in Bitcoin, anywhere between 20,000 to the 21,500 area would represent a relatively low-risk entry point if you were looking to build a position in Bitcoin. Any pullback in Bitcoin to that level would also produce nice pullbacks in the altcoin market that presents us with low-risk entry points. Be sure to stay tuned for our next video where we're going to review the top relative strength altcoin breakouts in the market right now and entry points where you could potentially look to get some nice swing trade entries for some big swing trading profits. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.